Welcome to this audio summary, where you'll discover the biggest ideas and actionable insights from the book, From Marginal to Mainstream by Helen Edwards. Whether you're a marketer, a business leader, or simply someone curious about how the edges of society shape tomorrow's opportunities, you're in the right place. Get ready to explore how brands can spot the next big thing by observing behaviors that start small but could soon go mainstream. Listen in for practical strategies and eye-opening lessons that could transform your approach to growth and innovation. Key insights. People aiming for growth should seek fresh ideas beyond traditional channels. They must look to society's edges for opportunity. Assemble a team to step out of familiar environments and study marginal behaviors directly by observing, participating, and interviewing. Share discoveries openly and without bias. Examine clues that show whether a marginal behavior could move into the mainstream. Solicit reactions from non-customers. Search for ways to guide the migration of a behavior from fringe to widespread adoption. Solve practical issues by bridging purists and mainstream users who prefer a lighter approach. Stay updated about research regarding the environmental and health impacts of these behaviors. Expand offerings that support the behavior and set prices to appeal to mainstream buyers. Leverage strengths and communicate core values that connect with people. High-level summary. Marketers are tasked with driving business growth, but many popular brands struggle with flat performance. In From Marginal to Mainstream, Helen Edwards investigates fringe behaviors using case studies. Her research ranks 42 edge case behaviors for their probability to go mainstream. By following Edwards' methods, marketers can identify promising, unconventional areas for growth, challenge established norms, spark innovation, and strengthen their competitive positioning. The importance of margins. From does anyone do that to doesn't everyone do that? Future progress will often be sparked by consumers rather than technology, especially as younger generations champion marginal behaviors. Youth tend to be less judgmental, more open to experimentation, and more aware of trends like wellness and sustainability. Marketers can help move behaviors from the edge to the norm by monitoring 8 key indicators: intensity, resistance, misalignment, vectors, reframing, reversal, accelerators, and dilution. Mastering how these clues interact allows organizations to spot trends early and gain a substantial advantage. Why mainstream marketing yields little growth. Competition has slowed growth as companies battle with similar products for incremental sales. 3 main factors are convergence. Organizations rely on the same supply pipelines, research focused on current customers, and similar metrics. This leads to predictably similar outcomes, and imitation with small tweaks only achieves limited growth. True expansion comes from anticipating consumer needs and understanding why non-users stay away. Lateral innovation. When little is new to offer, marketers try extensions, variants, or promotions, hoping to widen shelf presence. These can distract from meaningful growth. Instead, marketers should look to the margins for unique opportunities. Invention famine. Marketers are idea generators. Relying solely on technological innovation is risky. Exploring and championing marginal behaviors could yield larger rewards, especially as some edge practices may quickly transition to mainstream with new research. The value of marginal behaviors today. Marginal behaviors, those practiced by less than 3% of the population, offer much greater growth opportunities than mainstream customs for several reasons. With the rise of digital, user-driven media, fringe behaviors are more visible than ever. This connectivity can unlock tremendous growth possibilities. Marginal communities have built online spaces for belonging, sometimes spanning multiple niches. These connections mean there are more avenues for product expansion across diverse consumer bases. Gen Z is often called the Gen Yes group, highly open and curious. They have significant purchasing power, a readiness to try new things, and less stigma toward edge behaviors. Workplace diversity of both background and thinking exposes more employees to marginal behaviors. Both inside and outside the office, this diversity breeds unique marketing prospects. Understanding marginal behaviors. Elemental signals. Intensity and resistance are forces that keep marginal behaviors on the edge. For instance, purists maintain a behavior's existence, but their zeal can deter others. If a fringe behavior is seen as dangerous or distasteful, it's less likely to go mainstream. Marketers can ease the transition by solving issues like inconvenience, high cost, or social awkwardness, and use resistance to strengthen purist resolve. These purists can then inspire others to try the behavior and build community. Resistance purifies and clarifies the behavior's purpose, making it ready for mainstream expansion. Revelatory indicators. Sometimes intensity and resistance are misunderstood, leading to misalignment. Marketers should reach out to people who don't use their product, uncover barriers, and help both sides appreciate each other's views. Reframing, a proven tool, presents a behavior in a way that makes it acceptable to those previously opposed, emphasizing factors like tradition, diversity, ethics, sustainability, or health. This shift can pave the way for mainstream adoption. Reframing by others can signal imminent mainstream crossover. Opportunity clues. Events like the COVID-19 pandemic have enabled new behaviors, such as remote work, and legislation supporting diversity has sped up the adoption of services for marginalized groups. These events act as accelerators, powering fringe behaviors toward the mainstream. Gen Z's affinity for multiple subcultures positions them as connectors who can spread behaviors across communities committed to shared ideals. Growth signals. Once mainstream consumers receive permission to try a new behavior, they want to personalize it. Dilution from the strict purist stance makes widespread adoption easier, especially if initial barriers are removed. Marketers can drive this change through better research and communication, transforming former obstacles into springboards for growth. Growth Strategy Guide. Entrepreneurial Mindset. Entrepreneurs thrive by imagining possibilities instead of fixating on goals. They act with resilience, embracing uncertainty and risk. Marketers trained in traditional ways should emulate this mindset, approach challenges creatively, and seek investor support willing to trade small, quick profits for the prospect of big gains as fringe products become mainstream. Practical playbook. To stay ahead, companies should form cross-functional teams that can move beyond typical surveys or social media and observe new behaviors and subcultures. Ask, what is this behavior teaching us? Conduct interviews, watch for behavioral and language cues, and look for emotional signals that indicate mainstream potential. Reconvene, brainstorm, and decide which ideas merit investment. Use these questions to guide debate. How can we share the benefits of this behavior more broadly? How can we eliminate barriers limiting its growth? How can our strengths interact with this behavior? What business opportunities does this behavior open? Marginal to mainstream principles for leaders. Forward-thinking marketers need leadership that supports seeking growth at the edge. Leaders should grasp these 7 key principles. 1. Standard marketing methods yield only modest improvement. 2. Disruption can take many forms, but consumer-driven change can bring swift growth if approached with structure. 3. Entrepreneurial attitudes flourish in organizations, but need leadership encouragement and team engagement. 4. Diversity and inclusion go beyond avoiding groupthink. They foster an innovative culture. 5. Respect original marginal behavior creators. Preserving authenticity is vital during mainstream transition. 6. Lasting businesses create new possibilities and improve lives. Mainstreaming edge behaviors achieves this. 7. Marginal to mainstream strategies boost innovation and team satisfaction. Conclusion. Thank you for joining us for this summary of From Marginal to Mainstream. If you enjoyed these key takeaways and want more insightful book summaries on business, strategy, and personal growth, make sure to subscribe and share this episode with friends and colleagues. Your support helps us create and share more valuable content. Stay tuned for upcoming summaries. Your next breakthrough idea could be just one listen away.